This is wrong squared bishop. It's worth pointing out that if the defending king reaches the promotion square and it's a rook pawn, the game is almost always a draw because there's really no way to kick the king off away from h8, and it generally leads to stalemate, and there's no way to make ground. But in terms of wrong square bishop, this would also be a draw if you had a bishop on the light squares, not on light squares on the square right before the queening square, because white cannot really make ground with this squared bishop because there's really no way to kick it away from the h8 square, and you run into the same problems as if the bishop wasn't there, because the bishop doesn't really help in the promotion of the pawn. However, if you were to have the bishop be on the dark squares, assisting in the promotion square, then the game would almost always be a win if played correctly, because the bishop controls the queening square, and generally there's a way to force the king off of the h8 square and promote the pawn. So it's important to remember, if there's a king and a pawn, and the bishop is on the square right before the promotion square, if the bishop is on those squares, then the game is almost always a draw. But if the bishop is on the squares that control the promotion square, on h8 in this case, then with the pawn, the king, and bishop, there should be a way to convert the game into a win. So that is wrong squared bishop versus right squared bishop in terms of promoting the pawn with the bishop.